Without doubt, jockeys are some of our most accomplished horsemen and women, and some take that into the equestrian world. After a nasty fall in 2019, leading New South Wales jockey Jeff Penza used Thoroughbreds off the track to help him back to race riding. And now he and his wife Michelle are excelling in show jumping competition.
Tinkamosa won it.
Jeff, you obviously travel far and wide for your race riding as a jockey, but you also find plenty of time to fit in these horse shows. It's an incredible balance you achieve.
Yeah, no, it takes a little bit of work, but it's if I didn't sort of put the effort in to try and do both, I wouldn't get to the shows, and the shows are something I really enjoy, and I've worked out a way where I can get my horses work during the week nice and early and head off to the races, and on the weekends I've done shows before and after races, so yeah, it's hard work, but it's working out.
Tell me about your background. I mean, as a jockey, I mean, you regularly ride over 100 winners in a season. It's quite incredible. You know, you've ridden a number of group winners, and you also sort of obviously ride in the city, but also all that travel as well. What's some of your background for people that don't know you?
We were brought up on 5 acres, not far from here, Quakers Hill, and we always had horses as kids. As I got older, I just stayed small, and I wanted to become a jockey. I didn't have anything else in mind, and when I finished school, went straight into the stables and took up riding, and yeah, I continued, and I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's led me here. Obviously,
a lot of the gun trainers and owners and everyone and breeders really like you on their horses, but you know, doing that country, it's sort of a provincial and a country circuit and riding in town. Tell me about that, some of the rigours of that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good money earner. I mean, it's hard work. Obviously, you've got to drive and do the hours and ride for a lot of different people and a lot of different horses in different areas, but it's rewarding, and yeah, it's been successful for me, and my manager's done a great job over the years, and we've got a good partnership going on 20 years now, so yeah, it's been very rewarding, and it's got our family where it is now.
But Sons of John, they'll tear the house down here locally. He's won it.
And your first group winner was the Sons of John, the 2015 Hawkesbury Gold Cup. But you almost knocked off Winks with the same horse. Tell us that story.
Yeah, I had a great run with Sons of John. Jason Addard trained horse. He was going really well at the time. And yeah, after the Gold Cup, we headed towards Theo Marks at Rose Hill and up against Winks, which everyone thought you probably no hope. But he ran a race of his life, I thought. And yeah, Shandy picked us up right on the line. And next start, we went on to run third to her in the Epsom, so it was a terrific run for that horse, and yeah, it was thrilling for us.
Yeah, and just as exciting too in some ways. I mean, that's a big occasion. But you know, when you ride winners, I remember you riding my little horse that I'd bred, Striker Rose, and winning her only win she had at Newcastle. You remember her too. I mean, she was then competing as a show jumper. You really follow these horses through. You really have an interest in every horse you ride.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was only recently on a show on the weekend at Camden Winter Festival show jumping, and I think it was 2 to 3 people roll up to me and say, yeah, this is a horse you rode at so-and-so, and I'm trying to go back and think of those horses, but yeah, it comes back here after a while, and it's good to see people associating these horses off the track with myself and the time that I spent with them riding in races, and no, it's definitely rewarding to see it all happening.
One's come down, Mirage has lost the rider, Jeff Penza is on the deck there.
You know, you've had some nasty falls, but in particular your last really nasty fall took a while to come back from, but you were able to get back to fitness, riding these horses and schooling them away from racing.
Yeah, I was very lucky to have the horses here at home. I mean, for 3 months I didn't walk at all, so my legs were sort of jelly when I actually got up on crutches, and yeah, after probably I think it was 7-8 months, and doctors even advised that I could ride on my own horses and just try and get my legs going, and that made the difference. And then not long before I was back race riding, I chucked a little race pad on Eli and gave him a can around the back and had my legs up nice and short just to get the feel before we went back to track work. And I was just building confidence and building strength back up in the legs. It was great.
I didn't actually know that Jeff was a jockey when I first met him. He was at Sydney Jump Club and he looked like a little broken old man. And I didn't realise that A, he was a jockey, and B, he was coming back from horrific injuries. So instead of getting on racehorses to start with, he thought, oh, well, I'll pick up this jumping caper. So then I started holding thoroughbred classes and I met him and I thought, what a fantastic guy. And then we started having to get a bit organised so he could go early in the class so he could race off to the races. And I just think between Michelle and Jeff, they are just salt of the earth, amazing people.
And Michelle, tell me your background, because you haven't been a show jumper for life or anything. You're really kind of developing your skills with riding.
Jeff was jumping, and we have a little girl that comes here and she wanted to get into jumping, so then I thought better test out Shazando and see what he's good for, and went from there really.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first, it was quite scary, and then I got on, Jeff had his accident and I got on Eli and took him out to a show and thought this is fun, so that's where I come from.
So you didn't really have any preconceived idea about riding thoroughbreds versus riding any other breed?
No. I only do 75 to 85 and 85 to 95. We've tried it a little bit bigger, but Shazando wasn't so fond of that, so we've just stepped it back down and hang around that height. Something we both enjoy, and we're both competitive at that height. So I like to come home with a blue every now and then, or a rug. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun.
We've shown Chrissy Harris and Thoroughbred Sport Horses. You both have the caps on. Yeah. But it really is great what she's doing so that there is something you can actually hope to achieve, not just riding for the hell of it.
What Chrissy's doing for the sport is really good. It's fun, and she's making it really fun. She's very energetic and very passionate about it, which makes you think, yeah, you can go on and do more.
Well, it's really lucky that Michelle competes in the 80 centimetre classes, because that way she's not against Jeff, but she's getting better and better, so I really can't wait till they're both in the ring together.
But Stramaze is clear in the closing 50s.
And Jeff, the horse you're riding, Stramaze by Elvstrom, he's 11 now, he had 24 starts, a couple of wins, a couple of placings, didn't set the world on fire, but he did win at Musselbrook, he won at Tamworth as well. You know, he's a lovely, big, strong horse. He looks fantastic now in his new life.
Yeah, no, he's really enjoying, settled in our place really well. We just had to learn the key with him, and he was just a horse you had to be real gentle and kind with, and you know, you can see the way he pokes around, he's very happy doing what he's doing. And I was on him one day at Kembla Grange and I looked at his form, I knew he was struggling at the time, and I asked Con after the race whether his plans for the horse, and he said, well, he'll be looking for a future home soon. So I said, well, if that happens, let me know. And it was only a matter of days. Con rung me and I went into Warwick Farm one morning and I rode him slow work, just like to have me irons down low and just hack him around, see what his canter's like. And I liked him. You know, he's very, like I said, very gentle, loving horse, and yeah, bring him home and he's turned into a really good jumper.
Fireball, double five.
And Fireball, we filmed competing at Stonewall a little while ago. He's unfortunately had a colic attack, but tell me about his story.
Yeah, no, he was a horse I rode early in his career, and I won on him a couple of times, and I think he raced for about 5 or 6 years, and I was on and off him every now and then, and always had association with the horse, always liked the horse. And towards the end of his career, I did mention to Jan Bowen that if you're looking for a home for him, let me know. And yeah, it wasn't long after I got the phone call, and yeah, we're straight onto him. And he's been a great horse to us. He's a very, very talented show jumper, and it's only early days for him. I mean, he's had a setback of his colic operation, but 3 months down the track he'll be back in work, and I look forward to just building him up again and getting him back to where he was.
What sort of level do you think he could get to?
Oh, he'll be my Grand Prix horse. I'm confident of that. It's a matter of me having the ability to take him to that stage. He's a very brave horse, very careful horse, and yeah, he's won 120 opens already, which is probably better than I can do. So he's getting me out of trouble, and yeah, I'm very, very confident he's going to be a very good horse for us.
And so Michelle Shazando, so he's 15, he had 25 starts, 3 wins, 5 placings. He earned $77,000, and it's not a lot of money. People think, well, that's quite a lot of money, but when you're putting in the training fees and everything to get them, you know, educated and to the races, it probably wasn't a huge return. But wow, he looks so comfortable with you now.
Yeah, he's grown a big part of our lives. Like he was a funny horse at first. He got off the float and he looked like the Black Stallion, and I couldn't believe what Jeff had picked for me. But it took us a while to bond. We didn't bond straight away. So we've now formed a beautiful bond and we're quite compatible. And I've had him 9 years, so that's a good turnaround for him. He loves it. He loves the boys, and he's very relaxed.
Time permitting, get up nice and early and jump on him, and I'd like to spend as much time as I can on him. It's not necessarily just jumping, but fitness-wise, I think it's very important. I like to have the horses prepared for a day at a comp, a long day at a comp, and yeah, I have a little jump around the back, around the arena, and a little workout on the track at the back, and yeah, fitness is very important, and obviously you want to do enough jumping to have your eye in, and horses' confidence built up, and jumping the right height is obviously a key factor in building their confidence. If a horse is enjoying what it's doing, it's half the battle. I mean, you see some horses are probably tiring throughout the day, and I don't want that. I want to take my horses there, and I want them ready to to bounce. Like if you let a horse loose in a paddock, he just, obviously if he's feeling good about himself, he's going to run around and kick his legs up, and I want that sort of feeling when I ride a horse at a comp, and I want him ready to go and happy.
Well, when you understand a little more about jockeys, if you say to them, because we jump probably mainly at 325 or 350 metres per minute, you say to a jockey, this is the speed I want. They've just got it. They have speed in their heads. You know, they understand exactly increments of canter and gallop. So I think they ride in a really rhythmical fashion. They've got fantastic balance. Anybody that can be up over a wither with stirrups so short has no trouble jumping. And they're brave. So like they tick every box for a jumping rider.
Michelle, you're obviously learning a lot from Jeff, I guess, as well, just with his sort of horsemanship skills as a jockey and onwards. Tell me, I mean, what you get out of the schooling. It looks as if you really enjoy it. Shazando, his ears are pricked and he looks as if he's enjoying it too. What are you learning? You've learned obviously from Jeff with his horsemanship, but what do you really enjoy doing?
Yeah, I actually like to come away feeling that I've learnt something. It can be different things every day. I have a lot of fun. It's just to get out and get fit. Keep my fitness as well as the horse, and Jeff teaches us a lot, so it's more about trying to keep that balance and the head straight and the right shoulder forward, and there's so much to learn, and every day is a new learning curve, I say. It's freedom, it's a feeling of freedom on the horse. Yeah.
And the competitions themselves, I mean, particularly this one we're looking at with Thoroughbred Sport Horse, honestly, it's such a community, isn't it? I mean, you see the same people riding in the similar classes, and it depends on if your horse is having a good day or you're having a good day or a bad day. I guess the results are always different, but what a great fun time out.
Yeah, it's good fun, and it's fun for both of us to get out and sometimes we get to compete against each other, so that's always a bit of fun.
Yep.
How do you go with that, Jeff? Are you sort of a bit more thinking, oh, do I want to beat Michelle, or is it win at all costs?
I always win at all costs.
Yeah.
Yep. No question there. I'd admit that. But Michelle, she's got a competitive edge as well. I mean, she went from someone who didn't want to jump a horse to hooning around the 80 and 90 centimetre courses. So she's come a long way, and she's really enjoying it. And I think a lot of people would enjoy it if they could actually get to that stage, and and it doesn't matter what height you're jumping. It could be 55 centimetres if that's your height you want to do, and it's enjoyable, and it's a great sport. So yeah, it's good to be where we are.
Yeah, and I find it, like you say, it's all a community base. Like everyone knows everyone in the show jumping, and it's fun to see everyone out. And it's like a day out, and it's a social day, and yeah, it's fun.
So people that might be riding different stock horses or some other sort of breed, what would you say, Jeff, to them as far as these thoroughbreds? I mean, you know them inside out, but they're such wonderful horses, aren't they?
Oh, they're so practical. I mean, obviously you train them up the way you want them to be, and they're very trainable. People do presume they see this pumped up racehorse running flat out amongst other horses. I think that's how it is, but it's not that case. I mean, our horses, you take them to the show, they just walk on the float, they tie up the float all day, and you jump on and ride them, and they come back and they're happy to do all that. Very good jumpers, I've learnt. Obviously Vicky Roycroft, she's mentioned to me, her best horse was a Thoroughbred. Took her to the Olympics, and they definitely have the ability. They're readily available if you find a decent trainer, and you can get the right horse to suit you, and you can, it's a very doable thing.
They're just fun, they're sporty, they're adaptable, and they're very funny. They've all got different personalities, which I love, so it's funny. Yeah.
A great story of the racing and equestrian worlds coming together, and thanks to Jeff and Michelle for their time on Thoroughbreds Go. Coming up after the break, bringing retired broodmares out of the paddock for a new life back under saddle.